p.m. Waking up late again. Rolled over to a note laying right next to my head. Yeah, I bet I know what it says. I'll bet it says, go get a real job. Yeah, 'cause your band sucks. Don't be calling me up, trying to get me back in this bed. Losing me won't be your biggest regret. Sign P.S. Have fun, 'cause I'm done being stuck at rock bottom. Up there, girl, guess you couldn't see. Down in the grass, looking mighty green. All of my tendencies, I still got them. I ain't gonna fix what ain't even a problem. You think you're the one that got away, but I've got a prime piece of real estate. Down here, yeah, I ain't ever stopping. Middle finger up, still rocking at the bottom. Rocking at the bottom. Rocking at the bottom. You want a high-rise, big city skyline, $1,000,000 lifestyle, girl, that just ain't me. I'm a low life, yeah, I know, right? And that's how it's always gonna be. Yeah, up there, girl, guess you couldn't see. Down in the grass, looking mighty green. All of my tendencies, I still got them. I ain't gonna fix what ain't even a problem. You think you're the one that got away, but I've got a prime piece of real estate. Down here, yeah, I ain't ever stopping. Middle finger up, still rocking at the bottom. Rocking at the bottom. I'll be standing still, rocking at the bottom. Rocking at the bottom. I'll be standing still, rocking at the bottom. Drive those notes down deep in my coffin. Carve my name into the rock bottom. Up there, girl, guess you couldn't see. Down in the grass, looking mighty green. All of my tendencies, I still got them. I ain't gonna fix what ain't even a problem. You think you're the one that got away, but I've got a prime piece of real estate. Down here, yeah, I ain't ever stopping. Middle finger up, still rocking at the bottom. Rocking at the bottom. Rocking at the bottom. Rocking at the bottom. I'll be down here still rocking at the bottom. This is for that good old boy who's knee deep in that concrete, working 60 hours 'cause he's saving for a diamond ring. This is for that single mom that's working on a double shift, cleaning off a plate so she can feel the one to feed her kids. Oh, you only get it if you know. And I know I work my fingers to the bone till I ain't got nothing left. I earn everything I own, sign my name with blood and sweat. And it goes 1 time if your boots get muddy, 2 times if your truck ain't clean, 3 times if you're just like me. This one's for the home team. This one's for the home team. Put 'em up if you're just like me. This one's for the home team. If your dugout is a dive bar and your pockets full of dirt, you got your boss's number on the backside of your shirt. Come in, grand slam 'em down till your back doesn't hurt. Most folks only see the worst, but I'm proud. I work my fingers to the bone till I ain't got nothing left. I earn everything I own, sign my name with blood and sweat. And it goes 1 time if your boots get muddy, 2 times if your truck ain't clean, 3 times if you're just like me. This one's for the home team. This You only get it if you know. I work my fingers to the bone till I ain't got nothing left. I earn everything I own, sign my name with blood and sweat. And it goes 1 time if your boots get money, 2 times if your truck ain't clean, 3 times if you're just like me. This one's for the home team. This one's for the home team. Up if you're just like me. This one's for the home team. I was raised with a backhand, yes sir and no man, crushing every problem with the cocaine. Yeah, learned a lot of lessons, don't know who to mess with, take it out back like a real man. I hear you running your mouth only when I'm not around. Payback's a bitch and you fit the script, so pony up or you're about to get your ass kicked. If you got something to say, step on up to the plate. Name a time, name a place, you sign the line, got debt to pay. The word ain't worth a damn dime, go cash that check you can't write. The chips are down, can't walk away, so here's a tip for you to take. If you wanna talk shit, put your money where your mouth is. Put your money where your mouth is. I was Friday night sipping, minding my own business, young buck trucking on the sideline. Never wanna be the bad guy, but buddy after that line, guess I got a TV at a half ride. Payback's a bitch and you fit the script, so pony up boy. If you got something to say, step on up to the plate. Name a time, name a place, you sign the line, got debt to pay. The word ain't worth a damn dime, but cash that check you can't write. The chips are down, can't walk away, so here's a tip for you to take. If you wanna talk shit, put your money where your mouth is. Yeah, keep running your mouth. Teach you how we settle shit down south. Yeah, you go right, that's great, but a one-way ticket to a foot on your ass. Bricks. Oh yeah. Have you ever got a ride up from a redneck? Get back up, I ain't done yet. Learn a lesson from the Mississippi Kid. Money up, boy, put your money where your mouth is. You got something to say, step on up to the plate. Name a time, name a place, you sign the line, got debt to pay. Your word ain't worth a damn dime, go cash that check you can't write. The chips are down, can't walk away, so here's a tip for you to take. If you wanna talk shit, put your money where your mouth is. Ah, shit, put your money where your mouth is. If you wanna talk shit, put your money where your mouth is.
If I were still at Walmart, and that's kind of the way you know where my head is, that's the way I view all technologies when I'm considering, would I talk to this clown if I were still Chief of Staff, Walmart Asset Protection? 2 things, RFID and computer vision. If I only had money for 2 solutions, it would be those 2.
Well, that's my point too, Brandon. And same with education and school district. It's all about ratings, right? They rely on those ratings so they can have kids come to their school. And the same thing applies to casinos and retailers. If you see a horrible review or you see crime at a certain store, the obligation of someone spending money at that store or that casino is pretty low if they see a lot of high crime rate. So I think there's a fine balance there between obviously keeping safety and security a high element, but also making sure that your own employees feel safe to go work there.
It ain't 1970 anymore. We have a duty of care responsibility, and the technologies are available. The frustrating part is when you walk in stores and it looks like 1970. I'm like, dude, that tells me where the leadership head is.
I think everyone can agree that every single commercial building you walk into that has some kind of fire code already put in the system. And the reason why they put fire code in there, Brown, is because buildings used to burn down, but that's a mandate.
It is a choice if you walk into Walgreens and everything's locked up, just like it was in 1970. Nothing has changed in that shopping environment, and it's a one-trick pony solution for perceived theft problems, be they real or perceived.
This was for the home team. This was for the home team.
Happy Friday, happy Friday, happy Friday, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Taylor May, the founder of Security VIP, SVIP for short. Today is a great day because today is the official launch of our latest series called SVIP Verified. Now, before I dive into what this series is all about, I do want to give a shout out to every single guest that has been on SVIP to date. We've obviously branched and evolved since the inception of SVIP back in May of 2020. I've had incredible guests from manufacturers to integrators, and of course, our thriving end user community. Every single week, we aim to highlight an end user on SVIP Live. That is exactly what we're doing right now. SVIP Live is being streamed across LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, for our 30,000 plus followers and continues to grow. But SVIP Live was all about and still is about promoting and highlighting practicality with the end user at the forefront. But this particular SVIP Live, we're highlighting my latest series, which is called SVIP Verified. Now, many of you who do know me, I've been in the security industry the last decade or so. I've worked for incredible companies, mainly in the startup arena. And when you work for startup companies, what you really want as a startup is to really get real world applications and practicality so you can obviously cater your products and solution around the end user perspective. And the same thing can be said about our legacy manufacturers in the industry, the big behemoths that we all know, the cameras, the VMSs, the access control players. It's really important for every single manufacturer to get that real world application and that practicality from the end user perspective. And one of the cool things here at SVIP and what I've done with my platform, Security VIP, is I've been able to cultivate that end user community. If you guys go to the website, you'll see exactly some of the end users that are currently a part of SVIP who volunteered their time to engage and progress the industry forward. That's been one of my main, I guess, proudest achievements, is being able to promote and engage the end user community, because at the end of the day, what they really want is just shit that works in their environment, right? All right, so long-winded answer, a long-winded response. Taylor, shut up. Tell us what SVIP Verified is. So, ladies and gentlemen, SVIP Verified is our official product review series. That's right. It's a comprehensive product review series that encompasses hundreds of years of experience. And I know that's a bold claim, but I do have quite the community here at SVIP, as well as our end user community, that are coming together to help write these reviews and reports. And so what's really cool about this is I've been able to obviously test a couple different manufacturers to date. If you guys go to our website, you'll see a verified tab on the SVIP website. You can scan the QR code that should be displayed right here on screen. I'm going to share my screen here in a minute and kind of walk you through one of our sample verified reports. Now, remind you, this series is available for subscribers only. But what's cool about this is we include end user feedback in every single report that SVIP Verified is about. That's the main difference. That's the main driver or main separator about our review series. It's not just, me reviewing a product. It's not just my colleagues reviewing a product. It's simply our end users that have had experience with XYZ product in their environment. And why that's important is because if another end user is looking to implement said technology or said manufacturer, who should they learn more from? They should learn more from another end user who's having success or failures with that actual product. So every single report you will see an actual end user in the report. So I'm going to share my screen here in a second, but if you have questions, please drop them in the comments. I'm not going to make this live too long. I'll probably go about 20 to 30 minutes. But if you have a question about this series, make sure to drop a comment before I share my screen. And mind you, if you want to check out the website, you can scan that QR code. I'm going to take the QR code down, and then I'm going to bring up the actual verified tab so you guys can see it here live on LinkedIn or YouTube or TikTok, wherever you're tuning in right now. So give me 1 second and I will remove the QR code and pull up my screen so you guys can see exactly what SVIP Verified is all about. All right. Now you guys should be able to see, hopefully, technology bearing. You guys should see my website being pulled up right now. Again, every single piece of content that does come out of Security VIP, it is exclusively available for subscribers. So when you go to our website, svip.news, you'll see a verified tab on the left-hand side right here. Now, when you're signed in as a subscriber, you'll have full access to these reports. And so off the gate, what you're immediately going to see is 3 different reports from our verified series. These are 3 different manufacturers that we have featured here on Security VIP. The first one is Swear, the second one is Skyla, and the last one is Imran Corporation. Now, I'm not going to show you every single report. Now, again, this is exclusively available for subscribers, but I will show you one report out of the kindness of my heart so you guys can kind of see the amount of work it takes to put these reports together, as well as the end users who are featured in every single report. As you can see, Skyla, we featured an end user from Houston First, Ben Williams. Ben Williams is the Director of Security of Houston First Corporation. He's got Skyla's gun detection software down there in Houston at his convention centers. We actually have Ben coming up on an interview series not too long from now. But I'm going to walk you guys through Unity IS. Now, this is the software access control software platform from Imran Corporation. And one of the first things you'll notice is kind of the history and kind of criteria and our evaluation process when it comes to each manufacturer that we do test and review here at SVIP. Walks you through the steps. It walks you through what Imran sent us, the hardware, the software, the performance. We go through user experience, core features. We talk about security. We talk about integrations and support, the analytics and environmental impact, innovation, and obviously everyone's bearing question, cost. How much does it cost? Now, keep in mind, not every single criteria or component that we do here at Verified is going to be applicable to each product we do test. But just to kind of give you guys a good sense of how we evaluate products and review products, you get it right here. So here's a picture of the demo kit. I'm going to zoom out just a hair so you guys can see what Imran sent us. Now, Imran Hussain is the CEO and president of Imran Corporation. He sent us a demo kit. As you see, we got access to his software, which is Unity IS. We will have a couple videos of us using the actual software and kind of what that looks like. We talk about core features. There's a bunch of different screenshots in here. I'm not going to show every single one, but we're very, very thorough. We're very, very in-depth. And like I said earlier, we include end-user feedback. So this is Lieutenant Mike Betzler of Saddleback College in California. We interview him. We say, hey, end user, we understand you have Imran Corporation's Unity IS access control software. How are you using it? What's best practices? Why did you choose it? What was the support process like? How has it impacted your organization? Pretty detailed interview that we go into depth with every single end user. And we will obviously add some final comments at the very end. But here's the key point I want to make with this series, ladies and gentlemen. My goal here at SVIP has always been to be constructive, promotive, and really highlight the positives of our industry. Really, so when it comes to this verified series, it's all about promoting those strengths. Why does this XYZ product work in this XYZ environment? And what is the real world application from that product for this end user? So a lot of things you'll see when it comes to SVIP is meant with that kind of lens. I'm going to stop sharing my screen real quick and show my ugly mug and pull up the QR code before I go any further. And mind you, if you guys have questions, please drop a comment or a question. But this is really cool. It's a really cool opportunity for me because, again, I'm leveraging this end user network, this end user community. And I'll tell you what, guys and girls, the manufacturers that incorporate end user feedback, that put end users at the forefront of their innovation, have a seat at the table. Those are the ones that are going to have the most success when it comes to real world applications and practicality for their products. And so it's really cool. And some of the things that I just shared with you, obviously those three different manufacturers that we've done so far, Swear, Skyla, and Imron, those are fully done. But we do have a couple other ones coming out, which I just hinted on. One, Xbox, is another company that we're about to release, as well as another access control player called Hartman Controls. And mind you, when we do these testing, it's not only our team reviewing it, but we have the end user as well reviewing it too. So that's the opportunity here for the manufacturers that may be tuning in. If you have a product and you want real world application or real world feedback, we're going to put an end user on it. A prime example of this, I'll tell you right now, is a gentleman named Marty Heilman, who works for Oklahoma Gas and Energy, OG&E, big Oklahoma gas, big oil and gas customer in Oklahoma. He right now is doing testing on Hartman Controls access control software. And who better than an end user to test your product versus someone else? So I think that's the real value here, and the real value of SVIP Verified is we're bringing that practicality on our series Verified. Looks like my wife just dropped a comment, but I'll highlight this just for my listeners. Xbox is our next report that's coming out shortly in June, and then we also have Hartman Controls as our another product, which they have an access control software called Odyssey. So we've got others lined up that are interested in being on Verified series. Again, my goal and our mission here is to be as constructive and positive as possible on the strengths and pros of each product that we do choose to review, as well as add that real world application and credibility in our reporting. I'm going to pause for a second, take a sip of water, but if you have questions about this series, please drop them in the chat. Maybe any advice on who we should test next, or any advice on if you want to be featured, if you work for a manufacturer and you want to be featured, we'd be happy to speak with you. But please drop a comment. I'm not going to stay on live no much longer unless we get some awesome questions. But very exciting series. I'm very honored to announce this. All right, just checking a couple things, and this is exciting because obviously there's a lot of forums and information you can read in the security industry, and sometimes it's truly hard to gauge what's actually legit versus what's not legit. But if I'm going to use SVIP as a platform, I'm going to make sure that we add that real world element with every single product and testing. And so if you guys go to the website, again, you can scan this QR code on our screen, check out the Verify tab once you're a subscriber. Again, SVIP Live, what I'm doing right now is mainly for end users. I interview end users in the security industry every single week. But today's live series is talking about Verified. 2 days ago, I interviewed Brand Elverston, which was the intro video on this episode from Walmart. He was a former director of asset protection for Walmart. So we've got SVIP Live as our interview series. We've got now SVIP Verified as our product review series. We, of course, still have the podcast, Nothing But the Truth. And, of course, our news series, which is news, not new, news series, which is our articles that we feature. So, again, guys and girls, if you have questions, please drop them in the chat, and I will be happy to answer them. I'm just reading one right now. I think this could be a huge resource for businesses. That's my beautiful wife. I agree, Beb. I do think this is going to be a huge element for the security industry, especially for end users, but also manufacturers, right? Manufacturers that are new or legacy manufacturers, you want to be able to elevate, innovate, and evolve. And what better of a platform or engagement to do that than our Verified series here with our end user community, right? So these end users, again, I've got some of them listed on the website. People from casinos and retailers, hospitals, 3PL, logistics, oil and gas, healthcare, except education. Like there's so many end users in this community that are more than willing to be hands-on with the products that we do choose to review on SVIP Verified. So it should be a huge success and great opportunity, I will say, for manufacturers who are willing to speak with us. Question from my wife again. Do you have any sort of suggestion box where someone could suggest companies, products that people want to see? That's a great question. You can go to the website. You'll see on the desktop version, there's a little blue icon that pops up at the bottom right. You can chat your question, that send a DM directly to our inbox. You can also email us at info@securityvip.net, as well as message us directly on LinkedIn at SVIP. So a couple different ways. I think the easiest way is definitely our website as well as LinkedIn. You can just message us directly on LinkedIn. And obviously our email, info@securityvip.net. But if you have questions, please drop them or recommendations. Always willing to have recommendations. I'm going to hop off here in the next 5 or 6 minutes, but I'm excited. I'm really excited to announce this series. Go check it out. We tested Skyla's gun detection software. Super impressive, by the way, with Skyla's gun detection software. We know we talk about active aggressors and active shooters a lot in the physical security industry, and weapon detection is a hot item, a hot product item. And so I think when you look at weapon detection solutions, whether it's concealed or visible, frankly, you need both of them. And we were really impressed with Skyla's gun detection software just because the speed element, but also the real world element with that. If you look at that report of Skyla and you look at what Ben Williams said, the director of security for Houston First Corporation, and you understand what he had to say from an end user, it matches up with our testing. I mean, the real world application, the need or the you don't really need a human as much. Now, I'm not saying you don't need a human to validate things, but what we saw with Skyla's gun detection software was just the accuracy, the speed, and the deliverability of alerting when it comes to a visible weapon, pistol, shotgun, rifle, etc. So really impressed with that report. Really impressed with Skyla's gun detection software. I know they've got different analytics for threat detection, so we're excited to continue testing those guys, but really cool software from there. David Tyndall, question from you. How often will these verified reports come out? Great question. We're going to aim right now, hopefully one a month at least. It really depends. It really depends on, how many people are interested in letting SVIP do a product review. But number two, it also depends on resources too, right? So resources with our end user community, I should say, be more specific. They've got daily lives, just like I've got a daily live. So it really depends on how soon and how busy we can get some of these reports out. They do take some time. Each review, we do our due diligence. We speak with the manufacturer. We make sure we get demos, make sure we get training, and then obviously we write and report on it, videos, screenshots, and then obviously add the end user element on top of that for practicality. So the goal is 1 a month, maybe 2 a month. It just really depends on how many companies are interested. And it's not just physical security, guys and girls. We're going to be testing cyber as well. Cybersecurity is a huge correlation in the security industry. We should be testing cybersecurity companies. So All right. Well, if there's no further questions, I want everyone to enjoy their Friday. I don't want to hold anyone up on this Friday, but I do encourage you to check out our latest series, SVIP Verified. It is officially launched on our website. You can scan the QR code on the screen. Go check it out. Become a subscriber. I always want to encourage people to engage, and I think the best thing about SVIP is we are continuous learning. We're continuing to learn ourselves, right? So I've always believed in being a continuous learner. When my end user community comes to me and say, "Hey Taylor, what's next? What's coming next out of the industry?" I look for something next, and I think when you look at the technology companies and the companies that we do feature of SVIP Verified, we've got that mindset in mind of saying, "Hey, how is this really preparing an end user for the next 5 or 10 years, or what are you looking ahead?" And I think you look at Swear, and I'll point to Swear real quick. That company, I'll tell you, is a true game changer in the industry, completely revolutionary. Deepfake technology. We always talk about deepfake technology now, people impersonating others. Swear's got a solution for that. Check out that report. That's a really, really cool company. But all right, I'm going to sign off. You guys have a great weekend. Happy Friday. Please check out Verified and stay safe out there, guys.